Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Naya Terminal 3. Very chill airport, not very busy today, very relaxed.
Welcome, valued guest. Thank you for checking in with us. Let me start by telling you a little bit more about the hotel and accommodation services industry.
5:45 a.m. We are now at Peak 1 of Mount Apo.
Start this off with an interesting fact. Some of the common reasons for traveling during the Spanish colonial period here in the Philippines are education, search for work, and going on a religious pilgrimage. This tradition of these religious pilgrimage remains till this day after so many years and are now considered activities as well. Now we'll be talking about historical tourist spots in the Philippines. First off, we have Intramuros, Manila. Whether you're exploring by foot or on a bamboo bike tour, a wonderful time is guaranteed in the 64-hectare Spanish fortress erected during the Spanish era. Second, we have Rizal Park, Manila, more commonly known as Luneta Park. This is where you'll find the Rizal Monument and the actual site marking the execution of the Philippines' national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. Some meters away from the monument takes you to the network of grand museums, including the famous National Museum of the Philippines. Third, we have Corregidor Island. It is only a few hours away from Manila and is regarded as one of the Philippines' last military strongholds. Next, we have Calle Crisologo in Vigan. If you want to travel back in time as you stroll through old world charm, get mesmerized with Spanish colonial architecture, and enjoy delectable foods such as the famous Ilocos empanada. We have Fort Santiago. Inside the walled city of Intramuros in Manila lies Fort Santiago. It was formerly a citadel which served as headquarters for armies and foreign powers when the Spaniards were in control of the country. Next, we have Malacañang Palace in Manila. It was originally built in the 750s to house Spanish aristocrats. The Malacañang Palace has become the official residence and principal workplace of the President of the Philippines since 1935. Next, we have Paruswain Church, Bulacan. It is regarded as the cradle of democracy in the East and was the site of the first Philippine Republic when General Emilio Aguinaldo was inaugurated as the first president of the country. Now, we'll dive in to tourism activities that you can try in the Philippines. Some of the most spectacular sceneries in the Philippines lie deep beneath underground. You can explore exceptional underwater and underground treasures. There are varieties of activities that you may try. Almost every island has something to offer. Some accessible to the casual tourist, others challenging the skilled spelunkers. With Philippines' 7,107 islands offering every conceivable variety of tropical seascapes, with one of the healthiest reefs in the world, with an abundance of pristine coral reefs and thousands of colorful reef fish species waiting just under the surface of the ocean. If you're up for a more rad adventure, other best treasures in the Philippines are reserved for those who go beyond the end of the road. Through mountain climbing or trekking, you can reach places where crystal clear rivers plunge over dizzying falls and tattooed tribesmen live as they have for centuries.
Discouraged and I doubt myself, but you know you can't blame it on nobody else. Only you know where it is you belong. Sing along. You gotta run that race. You gotta run that race. We do it at our pace. Long as we get to run that race. When I lay my head on my pillow at night, I think about what's still going right. Thank the stars up above, there's still things left that I know.
The evolution of transportation in the Philippines. In pre-900 AD, Taban men walked on foot. They had lived in trees and moved on 4 feet when traveling around the forest bed. Now, in order to cross wide stretches of open land quickly, some hominoids began walking on 2 feet like modern humans. We have litter carriages. In 1500 to 1521, Datos has servants that carry them around through a handheld carriage or a litter, which is a kind of wheelless vehicle for transport of important persons. In 1500, the land transportation system in the Philippines was started with the locomotion of animals. For this reason, animals were the greatest asset during our ancestors' time. We have Calesa next, from 1560s to present time. In particular with this is the horse-drawn carriage, or most likely known as Calesa. It has primarily become the main mode of transportation of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial period. Next, we have bicycles. In the 1890s, during the Spanish period, the innovation of bicycles were created. It has become easier for many people to move from one place to another. It gained interest and popularity in the Philippines as it was much more convenient for a practical mechanical horse. We have trains. The Philippines saw its first railway system back in the 1890s, the line extending from Manila to Dagupan in Pangasinan, covering 195 kilometers. The train is one of the safest modes of transportation compared to road and air transport. We have automobiles. In 1900, automobile cars are introduced in the Philippines, which became the first horseless carriage to ply our roads. It is a 4-wheel vehicle that looks similar to a calesa, but this one is improved, which typically uses gasoline to start. We have the buses next. In 1912, buses operate throughout the country and differ in their sizes and forms. Typically, the buses are used for long-distance travel that also carries huge bags, livestock, and other merchandise.